In this video, I'm gonna talk about what to expect as an Asian if you end up getting locked up and you are a non-affiliate, non-gang member. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I want to start off the video saying this video is based on my experience, what I went through, and when it comes to rules and regulations inside prison and jails, I feel like it's gonna be institutionalized. Like no matter what, it is written in stone and it is not changing. Like the rules of respect, borrowing money, doing drugs, gang politics, things like that. No matter how much time it's been, the rules have been laid down and they're not going anywhere. And with that being said, it's been some time since I've been down, since I've been, you know, behind those walls, but I'm very, very confident based on what I hear, what I know for the people that I speak to, people I hang around with, the rules are still the same. Now, if you end up finding yourself locked up and you ended up in county jail, you're Asian and you are not a gang member. Your time there is gonna be much easier than compared to someone that is from a gang. Now you got to remember when you get locked up in Los Angeles County Jail, it's gonna compose of everyone inside or from Los Angeles County Jail. That means you got people from Pomona, you got people from Long Beach, you got people from Inglewood, all the way up to Valencia, wherever the cutoff is, San Fernando Valley, the 818. It encompasses all of that. So that means if you have an enemy and you know they're from Pomona or something, but your ass is from Long Beach, and you guys are both locked up at the same time, there might be a chance you might run into them. And behind those walls, you can't hide. And here's a caveat I want to add. And this is something that people need to realize is that behind those walls, anyone could be touched. That means if you have an enemy and you want to find them and they're hiding in the streets, get them locked up. And then you get locked up. And guess what? You can exact revenge. I know it sounds crazy, but behind those walls, ain't nothing stopping you. I'm sorry, man, but in these streets you can hide, you can duck, you can move. But when you're locked up, ooh, best believe you better be careful the way you move. But going back to the original point, if you're locked up, you find yourself in that situation, 9 times out of 10, man, things are gonna be smooth sailings as long as you aren't participating in like those activities, right? If you're not a gang member, there's not much to worry about because you haven't made enemies. You don't have enemies, right? You're not looking for future enemies. Now, when you're part of a gang, right, you're out in the streets, you may have beat up somebody's cousin 5 years ago and they see you inside and their cousin is locked in or locked up at the same time as you, and you guys see each other walking down the halls. Guess what? You're gonna have to fight. But if you're not a gang member, as long as you follow the rules and you keep your head on a swivel, meaning that you're very cautious of the way you move, how you proceed with things, not borrowing money, not doing drugs, not gambling, not doing the dumb stuff that's going to get you in trouble, you should be okay. A lot of times people build up like this thing. You'll see it in the prison tube. Oh, I'm hard. I did time here. I'm from this gang. Yeah, because that's your life. You have to you have to act in accordance to the way you're living your life, or else you're a phony, right? So if you're not a gang member, don't act hard. There's no need to be. Just understand you need to have the capabilities to get violent. I think that's one of the key things is, if you're not from that gang life and you're just a normal dude, you're working 9 to 5, and it just so happens you got drunk and you crash into someone, you end up in jail. And I see that a lot. I see it a lot of people. They end up in the situation where they're not from a gang. They crash and they kill someone. They end up doing a year in prison or a year in jail, right? They're they become part of that environment. And it sucks because now you're around people that are much more dangerous. And you got to remember, as you go through this process of jail, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone in there is innocent. They're still fighting a case. They're still figuring out whether or not they're innocent or they're guilty. And I think that's one of the things you got to understand is once you are deemed guilty and you have to do some more time, then you get sent off to prison. You do the remaining of your time. But until then, when you're in county jail, you're not California prison, you're still considered, I guess, innocent. So as you go through this process and you're in the holding tanks and you're sleeping in your dorms or in your jail cell and you're not part of a gang, just do you, bro. Just do you. I will say that there are a couple things I would recommend if I was talking to you like a little homie and you're like, hey, big bro, like check it, man. I'm gonna end up doing some time. What can you tell me? I would say keep your head down. Don't do drugs. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't drink alcohol. Don't be part and include yourself in the mix. Right? Keep your head on a swivel. Say what's up to all the others. When you walk into a place, let's say you walk into a dorm and there's others there, introduce yourself. Let people know who you are and have them know that, hey, you know what? I'm gonna ride for you. I'm gonna jump when the time comes, if need be. But until then, you just keep a very low profile, man. The more you, it's kind of like the nail and the hammer. If you stick out, you're more likely gonna get hit by that hammer. And trust me, there are a lot of big sledges in that place. So if I had to advise someone, I would say, hey man, do your prayers, do your workout if the area permits. Take your showers, make sure you're clean. Being clean is considered being respectable in a place like that, right? Don't complain. Write your letters. And if you have the opportunity to share, do so. Do so. Food and sharing things is like a universal language. It doesn't matter where you're from, what background you are. Sharing is something that we all understand. So if I have the capabilities to have extra food, maybe not give everything, but give a little bit. Maybe make a bigger dinner for yourself and share it amongst other people. That way they understand like, hey, you're part of this community. But I will say here's one thing though. Some people will take a look at that of your kindness and they might take advantage and think of it as a weakness. So even though you share, you have to be able to understand like, hey, this guy might turn on me. He might try to steal my stuff. And I'll give you a great example. And this story right here is crazy because it caused such a ruckus inside the dorm. So and when you get locked up in jail, there's two major complexes. There's one in LA County Jail, which is by Chinatown, and there's a massive complex over there. It's called Wayside. It's by Magic Mountain. That's like a good destination point, so everyone knows where it's at, right? It's a little bit north. Over there, they have dorms where it's much more segregated. In LA County Jail in Chinatown, that one is all mixed in. When you're in a dorm, you got Southsiders, you got your blacks, you got your whites, you got your paisas, you got your others. We're all in there together. But in Wayside, the dorms over there are much more segregated. They have one dorm full of Southsiders, nothing but Southern Hispanic gangbangers. And then another dorm, you'll have your others, right? Oh, that's better. You'll have your others. You'll have your blacks. You have your paisas. And I think from my recollection, let me know if I'm wrong on this. Let me know below. I think there's whites. And they're all in one dorm, but there's no Southern Mexican gangbangers in that dorm. And I remember I was in this dorm, and there are 3 men bunks, 1, 2, 3. and there was some guy next to me. He was in the middle bunk, and below him was a paisa. Now the paisa had a whole bunch of stuff. He had a whole bunch of commissary. He had a whole bunch of food, letters, whatever the case may be, personal belongings. And he left to go do a visit or some shit. And the guy in the middle was a black guy. He ended up reaching down and stealing some food, stealing some tortilla shells and some noodles and some sausages. The paisa came back. Like, I didn't say anything, and I was thinking in my head, damn, do I say anything? But 10 minutes later, the paisa came back and was like, yo, what's up with my stuff? Looks like someone tossed my stuff. What the fuck? So he went to go talk to his homeboys, and he was like, hey, yo, I think someone stole my shit, bro. Like, look at it. It looks tossed up. And this guy, this paisa, he's very cool, level-headed guy, and he kept to himself. And he was very tidy. That's like a good word I can represent, tidy. And this black guy ended up stealing his food. Like, I was there reading, and I saw that. And next thing you know, it caused like this big ruckus. So the paisa was like, man, fuck that. I need to catch that fade, man. Who was it? And I don't know what happened, but next thing you know, the paisas and the blacks, they started getting into it. They started like puffing up their chest. Oh, you know? And instead of a riot, they're like, hey, yo, let's line it up. So in the back in the dorms in Wayside, you have 2 rows on the bottom floor. There's 2 floors, right? Top and bottom. And on the bottom, there's 2 rows of 3-man bunk beds. So there's like 15 bunk beds or something like that, right? 2 rows. And in the middle, you have like a big white space, maybe like 5 feet, 6 feet. And that's where you walk in between the 2 rows of bunk beds. And the riot was like, it was about to go down. But instead, they're like, you know what? Let's just run it one-on-one. So the paisa, he ran it, short dude, about my height, a little bit shorter, something like that. I'm only 5'4", okay, so keep that in mind. And then you had the black guy, his bunkie, on the other side, and they're about to get down. Next thing you know, they run it. The paisa cracks him, boom, and then the black. I remember one of his homeboys jumped in, decided to like take off on him, bam, 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 bam. And here's the part that it was starting to get crazy. You got to remember, others and blacks, we ride together. We program together, right? So if something were to pop off, we kind of jump off together. And same thing with the whites and the southern Hispanics. If they're going against, I guess, us, as you call it, right? Then it's whites and southerners against the blacks and the others, and we all get down 2 versus 2, I guess. And I remember when the paisa and the black guy, they got down, bam, bam, bam. The paisa cracked him. The black guy fell down. One of the blacks, one of his homeboys came in, decided to jump in, boom. And I was standing right next to one of the homies. His name was Pinochle from Westside, Peru. If you're out there, bro, I hope you're free, man. I hope you're doing your thing, man. Anyways, the homie was like, hey, what the fuck? Hey, it's supposed to be a fair one. He jumps in and he pushes the fucking blacks like, hey, what the fuck, get back. It's supposed to be a one-on-one. And me and Pinochle, we were cool, man. Me and him, we were dope, man. We were tight. And as soon as he jumped up, this Pinochle was tall, man. He was like 6'4", big old hands, big dude, young cat, 19, very soft-spoken. And he was like, hey, get off him. It's supposed to be a fair fight. And I was like, oh, shoot. What do I do? I guess I got to back up the homie. It doesn't matter, right or wrong. I'm jumping for the homie. We'll figure out who's right or wrong later. So as soon as he jumps up and he starts pushing all of them off of the paisa, I push everybody back. Hey, back up, homie, back up. And at that moment, I was like, dude, I might get stomped out by the blacks. They ended up breaking everything up. And then another black, another paisa, they ran it again. And then this time the black got one of the paisa. Boom! The paisa fell. And then it was about to like erupt into a riot because the paisas were actually pretty deep too. Inside that dorm. Normally the blacks, they have a bigger number, right? Usually it's the black has a big number. And then the others and the paisas were kind of about even, you know. And then you have the whites. And when the second fight went down, oh, all hell kind of broke loose, and everybody was about to, like, all the Pisces and all the blacks was about to just go, and the others and the whites, we were just kind of stepping back and just kind of like, yo, it's about to go down. And of course, you got the CEOs just watching. They just, look at these idiots fighting each other. And thank our lucky stars and freaking stripes that it just ended up still being just one on one. They ran it a few more times. I think two more times. Another black, another paisa, they got down, and another black, another paisa, they got down. And then that's when the cops decided to come in and just break everything up. So that's a situation where, like, if you're not an affiliate, and situations like that happen, you know, you gotta make a decision at that point. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna back up the homie like I did, Pinochle, or are you just gonna just stand there, right? Because imagine if I didn't jump when the homie jumped, and at that time it was just me and Pinochle at the bottom, and there weren't that many others. Eventually, we ended up coming pretty deep. We ended up getting, like, I think 12 others inside the dorm, and to me, that's heavy. Normally, there's only like two, four of us, but for us to have 12, 10, like, we were pretty heavy, And yeah, at that time, just me and Pinochle, man. And imagine if I didn't jump when he jumped. Imagine after all this cooled down, he came to me and be like, "Hey, bro, how come you didn't back me up, homie?" And then me and him might have to fight, right? So as a non-affiliate, it's kind of like these are the situations you might get faced with, and you got to understand, like, sometimes, at that moment you have to make a choice, and that's what I did. And that's, I don't know if it was right, I don't know if it was wrong, but that's what I did, and nothing came of it. Nothing came of it. Me and Pinochle, we got more tight after that. He understood, like, hey, I was gonna jump for him. So, non-affiliates, you don't have much to worry about except for just getting home safe to your family, staying away from all that mess. Because you'll see a lot of people in there. They'll make pruno, which is like jailhouse, like, beer or alcohol, whatever, right? And then you'll get your occasional cigarettes, and you'll get your occasional weed. You know, just stay away from that. Gambling, even playing cards, could put you in a very it can put you in a position where you feel like you're comfortable, right? Like, I remember playing cards one time, and I kind of let loose. I kind of just felt comfortable, and I remember I was playing spades. Bam! I remember I hit the card. That's right, bitch. That's right. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, hey, damn, man, my bad, bro. Like, I didn't mean it like that. I just got excited. Luckily, the people I was playing with, that person, I just said I didn't direct it at anyone, but anyone could have took that wrong, right? Anyone could have took that wrong, and it could have turned really bad. I could have got myself into a wreck. But luckily, the people I was hanging around with, we were really cool, and they knew, like, it wasn't directed at anyone. I was just saying out of excitement. So with situations like that, you got to be very, very mindful. So I made this video because there was a response saying, hey, maybe make this type of video. What do you do if you're Asian, you're non-affiliate? Just go in there and just do your time, homie. You know what I mean? Do your time, put your head down, and just don't be a bitch. When it's time to go, it's time to go, man. But besides that, work out, be healthy, trade in the juice box that you get in every day for, something else maybe, or just give it away. That's what I did. I didn't drink any of that juice. I didn't drink juice one time at all. The whole time I was fucking down. Not once. I gave it away, traded it for some peanut butter, some bologna. But for the most part, man, if you follow the prison jail rules, you'll be okay, man. This is more directed towards jail. Prison is a little bit more calm, I believe, but it can get very violent quick. So in jail, I feel like there's more fights, but in prison, there's more stabbings. So it's like jail, there's fights happening all the time, but there's not a lot of stabbings. And in prison, there's more riots and stabbings, but not as common. You get what I'm saying? So there's some differences in each one. And in jail, it's like everyone's kind of high stressed because of the environment, the natural nature of it. You're trying to figure out your case, you're trying to figure out if you're trying to go home. uh, but follow the rules, keep your head down, and stay safe. That's it, man. So if you like this video, let me know. Share it with somebody. That's the biggest thing you can do for me. If you want to support, you want to be able to show some love. You know, if you learned something, you felt a certain way, it brought back some memories, like the video, man. Subscribe, share it with people, share it with others, man. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to build a community where like-minded people like myself, we can all get together and we have a platform to go ahead and just bounce ideas off each other. Because it's, I feel that as someone that's I'm gonna be 41 on the 28th, I feel like it's my duty to inform the younger generation of the pitfalls of life. And that's one of my biggest pitfalls, was that I fell into that crime, and it definitely made me go down a path in life that I did not expect. So if you learn some and you felt a certain way maybe, and you want to support, there's a subscribe button right there, man. Leave a comment, get some engagement going, subscribe, like it, share this with somebody. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.